Most people wait too long to ask for help. Don't be most people. And the reason is most people wait too long to ask for help is for several reasons: denial, fear, pride, or any combination of those three. Asking for help is part of counting the cost of becoming the person that you endeavor to be. And so that's where the real conversation begins, because most of us want the dream, but we don't want the price tag. So everyone has fantasies and visions of grandeur as it pertains to their future, you know, but the reality is that few of us actually count the cost required to achieve that vision of grandeur that we have in our mind or that's planted in our heart. And the cost isn't just effort. It's not, well, if I work really hard, then this thing will come to pass. That's a part of it. But along that road, along that path towards purpose is pain, affliction, trial, and tribulation. And the reality is that most people quit or stagnate when the cost shows up. So here's the thing. The very cost you're running from might be the very thing that saves you. I'll repeat that. The very cost you're running from, the price tag on this dream, might be the very thing that saves you. So one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, I can't recall where it's from at the moment, but it says, "It was good for me that I was afflicted," right? What that means for me is that we all have to get to a place where we reframe the trials and tribulations that we have had to go through or that we will go through, not so much as, oh, why is this happening to me? But this is happening for me. This is happening not to me, but for me. Because the reality is that pain is not punishment. Pain is tuition. Pain is tuition. Pain is the price of becoming. And I know that through personal and professional experience. Because the trials and tribulations that you experience in your life will grow you more than triumph ever will. And once you see affliction this way, you realize something very, very powerful. And the thing that you come to realize is this, that affliction can actually become the leverage that you use to become stronger, wiser, more effective. Because the thing that was sent here to break you can actually be the thing that brands you. I'll say that again. The thing that was sent to break you can be the thing that brands you. Authenticity through lived experience. Here's the thing, you can actually leverage your pain, not just for yourself, but for others. The experiences that you go through, emphasis on going through, can be the very catalyst that you can then use to help affect change in other people's life. And that brings us right back to where we started, asking for help. Because the reality is this, asking for help is not weakness, it's actually wisdom. In our society, particularly in the masculine sector, I'll say it like that, we are taught from a very early age that asking for help is indeed a sign of weakness. And we're taught to, pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. And while there is wisdom in that, right? A greater wisdom is after you've tried what you can, or even before you've tried everything you can, right? Counting the cost, recognizing that you cannot do this all by yourself, whatever it is. There are parts that you are required to do alone. And I'm not suggesting that the parts that you're required to do alone, that you then outsource it to someone else to do for you. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is that when you begin with the end in mind, when you have the goal, you know where you're headed, And then you then count the cost of what it's going to take to get there. Wisdom, discernment teaches us to then solicit help along that journey. Because community, mentorship, partnerships, accountability, faith, all of that, if you implement those things in your life, all of that spreads out the weight. And rest assured, there is a weight to becoming. And when I say weight, I mean WEIGHT. There's a heaviness, for lack of a better term, to becoming. But when you solicit and create a tribe, a team to help you along this journey, you spread the weight out. You know, I get a picture in my head of Christ carrying the cross up the hill, and then he solicited the help, or one of the apostles, I'm messing the story up, but one of the apostles, I believe, helped him carry the cross for a little bit. I'll fact check that, or someone in the comments fact check that. But the picture, the point being, is that we were not meant to carry this alone. And so it is not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's actually wisdom. And help keeps you from aborting the mission when affliction hits. And as we saw, or as we heard, or we discussed rather earlier, affliction is inevitable. Affliction is inevitable. Disruption always follows intention. Whenever you set out to start something, particularly something of worth, on whatever level you're on, every single time you set out to pursue something of worth, it is an intention that you are setting into the world. And disruption always follows intention. And because we know that, when that happens, if you have created your A-team, as it were, if you've created a Voltron, and now you have the people in places to protect you from the affliction, not to save you from it, but to help you along the journey, to help you fight the good fight along your path towards purpose, then it gives you a better chance to not throw in the towel. It gives you a better chance to continue along that path because you have help alongside of you. And most of us, most people wait until you're broken to reach out. You know, one of my mentors, when I was going through a transitional period of my life, one of my mentors, the caveat or the precursor or the requisite for him mentoring me was simply this. He said to me, I will help you. We will help you, but you've got to give us access to your life. And that stuck with me. And the reason it stuck with me, as I considered it over the years, the conclusion that I've come up with is that here's the thing. Most people want the gift, but they don't want people. I don't know how better else to say this, but we don't want people in our business, right? We want people to loan us the money, but we want to not have accountability towards. We want to get the money, but then use it how we want to. Or we want people to help rescue us, but we don't want them to then suggest ways that we can change our behavior so that we don't need rescuing like this anymore. So when he suggested to me that for them to help me, that I would need to give them access to my life, that taught me something. That taught me that there has to be accountability when you're asking for support, when you're asking for help, right? And when you give people access to your life, then they're not going to let you wait until you're completely flat out busted and disgusted to reach out for help, right? Because they have access to your life and they can see things that you can't see. You know, if you're focused on something intently, a lot of times we have blind sides, we have blind spots. And so giving people access to your life allows them to speak into your life if and when you're focus prevents you from seeing the pitfalls that are along the path. So it is so important to give people, trusted people, access to your life so that as you solicit their help, that these will not be surprises to you or them, because you've got eyes and ears watching your front, your back, and your side too, to help you circumvent the pitfalls that are along the path towards your purpose and destiny. So let's land this plane. Let's bring it home. Don't be most people. Don't wait too long to ask for help. That's the message. That's the message in a bottle, wrapped up, gift wrapped for you. Don't wait too long to ask for help. Affliction is not punishment. Affliction is preparation. We need to get to a place where we can say, it was good for me that I was afflicted. It was good for me that I was afflicted. Pain is leverage. Pain is the tuition, and it's a gift if you let it be. Most of us can look back on our lives and we can remember, if we're honest, seasons where pain was a part of our life and we did any and everything we could to get this pain away. Please remove this thorn from my side. I don't want it. I hate it. And here's the thing, hating it and being uncomfortable with it is human, it's natural, it's normal. So I'm not suggesting that if you try to pray it away per se, that you're a bad person and you don't get it. That's not what I'm saying. It's natural. I mean, we can read through the Psalms and we see how David tried to remove this from me, right? But after we get over the temporary human feeling that we're having, it's so important for us to recognize what is the purpose of this pain in this season in my life. And I promise you that the quicker you can get to discerning what this pain has come to teach you, what this pain has come to prepare you for, the better. And having help along the way can help you with that. You know, having wise counsel in your camp can help you to discern, what is this pain here for? What is this trying to teach me? What is this fire trying to remove from my character that is of no service to me for where I'm going? I can't use this anymore. Whereas my charisma back then served me well, but I need much more than charm and charisma for where I'm going. So what about this part of my personality is trying, what in my personality is this pain trying to remove? That's the question. That's the question. So the ultimate question that I have for you is, are you willing to count the cost? Are you willing to get help early and often? Are you willing to do these things so that you can actually finish this journey? I sincerely hope that something I've said in this podcast has challenged you to ask these questions internally and externally. And you know, if you're in a season where you can use some help. If you feel that deep in the depths of your soul, then my prayer, my hope is that you reach out and seek the help that you need. And you may not be in despair right now, right? So don't think, if you're listening to this, that this is for them. This is for you. You may not be in despair right now. You may not be desperate right now, but rest assured, if you are endeavoring to do anything of worth, there will come a time where you will need help all around you. And I promise you this, from personal experience, I can tell you that this world is so abundant. We don't live in lack. Help is all around you. But you don't know that until you take a step. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Take a step. Seek out help. early and often. Until the next podcast, peace.